Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So glad to see you guys again. In today's video, we are going to go down memory lane. I am going to be taking you on a guide for the last 10 plus years, where I'm going to be discussing all of the phones that I've had since, basically all the phones I've had. Now, if you don't know anything about me, I am like a tech aficionado, like specifically like a phone aficionado, bro. I've been interested in phones like literally since middle school, maybe even elementary school. It's always been my thing. Like, I've always been on YouTube, like watching reviews, Pocket Now, Android Authority, like Marquise Brownlee way back in the day, Detroit Board. I never was a huge fan of Linus Tech Tips. What else was there? Pocket or something Arena, GSM Arena. I was on the spec sheets. There was also like this lady, like this. I forgot her name. Oh, there was Phone Arena as well. What was that guy's name? Kevin or Billy or whatever the hell his name was. Mobile Tech Review. That was my girl, bro. Mobile Tech Review. Like she was my girl. Anyway, like so. I've been in the scene, bro. Like, I've been interested in phones. So, naturally, whenever a new phone came out, I was on it, bro. Like, I was always wanting to get the next latest phone. I didn't always get the next latest phone because, I didn't have a job. So, I was at the mercy of, like, my parents getting me phones. And it wasn't until, like, I started, like, saving money and making my own money that I was able to just buy whatever phone that I want at my leisure. But I'm still appreciative that I was able to, still dabble and, like, still upgrade relatively often. I'd say since middle school, since like 2009, I've had maybe like that I've used regularly, like maybe like 13 phones or so, and I'm 24. So anyway, this is just gonna be a fun trip down memory lane. Like, I was just thinking, I was watching a review on the S22 Ultra this morning, and I was just like, you know what, like, it'd be fun to like talk about the old phones that I've had, like just for like us tech aficionados. Anyway, so I want to go way back to like, let's say probably like elementary school. I'm not exactly sure which phone was my first phone, but I'm gonna say my first phone was probably like, do you guys remember Boost Mobile? Those Boost Mobile walkie-talkie phones and like the flip phones where it's like, where you at? I wish I had it, but like that was probably like my first like real phone. I kind of hated that phone. Because it was Boost Mobile, of course. Like I kind of hated that phone. Like, like it's not Verizon, it's not AT&T, so I kind of hated the phone. But it was a cool phone. It was a walkie-talkie phone. I had it, my dad had it, and my brother had it. So we were like walkie-talkie each other. That was a really cool feature. I'm not gonna lie. And to be honest, it was a perfectly fine phone for a kid. Like, looking at it now, like, is it gonna win any awards for attractivity? Maybe back then, yeah. But like, it did the job. It was sturdy. It was a Motorola. My first phone was like a Motorola, believe it or not. So I have fond memories of that. That was a good time. All right, and then my next phone was just like a regular like Samsung flip phone. I don't know what happened to the Motorola phone, but so I moved to like a Samsung regular flip phone, bare bones, like just regular flip phone. I've had it. I distinctly actually, I think I had it for a while and then I stopped using it and then I started using it again. I distinctively remember when I lost it. I think it was in 7th or 8th grade. I had put it in a desk, like in one of those like desks, and then like I came back and it was gone. So like I got robbed, I guess. So I lost that phone, and so I didn't have the phone for a while, and that was upsetting. But you know what? It was okay. It was a phone, like, So then my next phone, my first, I guess, big boy phone was called the LG Prime. Whoa, if you remember the LG Prime and the AT&T Go phones, that Go phone line was something serious, bro. That AT&T Go phone line, bro, like, I was a Go phone. Well, because I'm a kid, like, like you get the prepaid phone. So I was on the Go phone site, like looking at freaking like all the phones. The phone that I got, the LG Prime, wasn't the phone that I necessarily wanted. I wanted a different phone. Like, I think that was the time when like the sliding phones were emerging with the keyboards. So I was on that wave, but I got the LG Prime and I didn't hate it. Like, I actually enjoyed it. Like, I liked scrolling through it. You could have like maybe 2-3 songs on it, like maybe a video or so. I remember watching Waiting for the End, like the Linkin Park video on that phone with my headphones, and like I swear to God, like I would have to like go to like YouTube to MP4 and like I have to choose like a 240 video or whatever because like there was no storage space. So like you have to like it was tough times, but I had a great time. It was like my first like real multimedia phone. Not to mention it was a touchscreen phone, my first touchscreen phone. So I enjoyed the phone. Did it have a camera? Honestly, I don't even know. It probably did, but like I don't even know if I used it. You know what I wanted at the time? I wanted the LG Rumor Touch. If you know, you know. The LG Rumor Touch was such a cool looking phone. I was on YouTube looking at reviews for the LG Rumor Touch. What I really wanted to do was have that phone and just be reading manga on it, and like just going on the internet reading manga on the way to school. But I didn't have it, so I had to have my LG Prime. And the thing with the LG Prime was that, like, you know, back in the day, internet was expensive. Like, internet was, you open up Yahoo with a web page and like your internet allowance is done. So like I never had internet on the phone, so like I never was able to read manga, so like my dreams were crushed. But you know, it's okay, like we carry on, like it's fine. So yeah, that was me. I was a sad boy because I couldn't read manga on my phone, but you know what, it's whatever. And I don't even think Wi-Fi was a thing back then, at least in my household, so that was just a dub all the way around. That was about in 2010, I'd say. And it wasn't an Android phone, it wasn't a smartphone, it was just like a touchscreen phone. Alright, and then I get my first actual smartphone back in like 2011 in 8th grade. It was Virgin Mobile. You know, I'm going from one prepaid carrier to the next. It was Virgin Mobile. I was so embarrassed because the Virgin Mobile was right on front of it. But it was Virgin Mobile. It was the LG Optimus V. If you don't know, LG... my first foray into LG, that would last the next decade. But it was an LG Optimus V. It was the Virgin Mobile brand of the phone. This phone was released in many different variations. There was Optimus G, Optimus S, and like probably one more Optimus under different carriers. But under Virgin Mobile was obviously the LG Optimus V. I loved the phone. Like it was like a little brick, but it was cool. It ran Android. It ran Froyo to be specific. I could actually go on the internet. There was a gyro sensor, I believe. So like there were a lot of apps. Like so I remember distinctly showing people like the app I had on my phone. Like it was like a lighter app, and I would move the phone around, and then the lighter would move on the app. So like the gyroscope feature. So like that was groundbreaking technology, bro. There was rotation. The screen would rotate if you twisted it. Oh my god, groundbreaking that phone was for me. So that was my first foray into Android, my first smartphone. Spoiler alert, I never owned an iPhone. I've never owned an iPhone my entire life. I've only owned Android phones my entire life, as far as smartphones go. But anyway, my first real big boy phone, like I was so happy with that phone. I had that phone for a while, to be honest. It just did everything I needed to do. And that was actually the first time I got into what's it called? Rooting my phone. Guys, I was huge into like, what is it, the mod community, whatever, like the XDA community. I was huge into that. Bro. Shit was booked for years. It was bookmarked. Like it was one of the first things I looked at whenever I went on my computer, the XDA. I was trying to see what wallpapers was out. I was trying to see what icon packs, what apps were out, what new ROMs were out. I was just on it, bro. I was on the XDA, bro. So, and that's how I got into rooting. That was the first one I rooted. I rooted from Froyo to Gingerbread. Remember when Gingerbread came out, bro? And it was like a green design. I think the Nexus 1, I think, was out at that time. It had like the live wallpaper. Oh my god. So I rooted that phone to Gingerbread, and then the ROM I used broke my... Okay, I'm stupid, like, I guess. I don't know. The ROM I used, I don't know what was wrong with it, but I didn't have internet for a long time. And then I think I had to come to find out, like, I had to just fix my Wi-Fi or, like, fix something with it. But anyway, I eventually started working, and then I had access to it. It was great. It was such a good time. Like, I loved that phone so much. And it didn't crack either. I never cracked my phones. Yeah, that's about it. And then, so I had that phone in, like, 8th grade. And then my next phone was the HTC One V. Do you guys remember the HTC One series, like the HTC One X, One S, One V, like the big brothers to like the One M8 series? Oh my god, when those phones came out, I had lost my shit. I was a huge fan of HTC for a very long time. Like, I think their phones had like the best designs, and like the what do they call it? I don't remember. I'm so out of the loop now. The skin, I guess, the UI was so gorgeous. Like the HTC Sense skin was so gorgeous. I remember watching the HTC Sensation commercial because I was just so in love with the skin and like the look of the phone. Like I was just all about it. So I've wanted an HTC phone for so long, and I finally got it. Mind you, I didn't want the HTC One V necessarily, but you know, let's get real. Like I had to stay on the prepaid life, and it was on Virgin Mobile. So I remember getting that. I remember looking with my mom for that phone to get it in stores because it was sold out everywhere. It was like around Christmas time, and then we finally got it on a radio near Radio Shack near Kings Plaza, and I was so happy that I got it, and it was on sale too, and I loved that phone. It was so sexy. It was such a sexy phone. It was sleek. It had like a chin to it. It was kind of small. It had the HTC Sense skin, which was gorgeous. What else? It ran, I think, Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich, I think, so that was nice. It had Beats Audio. That was cool. Beats Audio was a huge thing back then. My one thing I remember specifically was that it didn't have a selfie cam, and I was kind of tight because that's when Snapchat was making an appearance, and like I was the only one without a selfie cam, so like I couldn't use Snapchat for a while, so that was a bit like, either way, I really enjoyed that phone. It was such a sleek, nice looking phone. I just loved looking at it. I would love changing the wallpaper and like, you know, because it had such a great viewing angle too. You know, you put your wallpaper, you customize the home screen, and then you put it down on a table and you look at it from an angle, you let the sunlight hit it. Ooh, I love that phone. Like that phone was gorgeous. Like HTC snapped with that phone, bro. Like, in the camera, the software was good for the camera. I'm not even sure if I rooted this phone. I might have, but even then, I don't really remember what ROM I would have changed it to. If I did, I probably changed it to like the Google Pure ROM or something, because that's when the Pure Edition phone started to be releasing. So like, I think I was going on that. But yeah, mind you, it looked best with the HTC Sense skin anyway. But that was just me personally. But anyway, I love that phone. Like, I honestly don't really have a negative thing to say about it that I can remember specifically. My next phone that I'm really... By the way, I lost that phone. I lost that phone. I remember it was in... It could have been... I have 2012 here. I know it came out in 2012. Did I get it in 2012? I must have gotten it like winter of 2012. So that was probably like my sophomore year of high school. And I remember losing it in the freaking cafeteria. Like, I think someone stole it. So I lost that phone, and I didn't have a phone for like a good month or so. Like, it was like winter break. I didn't have a phone for like a good month or so. And then the Lord blessed me. The Lord blessed me. I remember it like it was 10 years ago. I saw on Yahoo News, on Yahoo the homepage, that Motorola was releasing a new phone called the Moto G. Because at this time, I was scoping out for my next phone. And I knew that it had to meet the requirements for my dad to want to get it. So it had to be like a good price. Like, I wanted a selfie camera. I remember I was praying for a phone to come out that wasn't too expensive and that was good, because like the budget phones weren't always that good. I wanted something good. And then I was blessed with the Moto G. Oh my God, the Moto G was like, if you were a cheap phone kid, the Moto G was the answer to your prayers. It was like $200 or something like that, less than $200, and it ran the latest version of Android. This was like Motorola after it's been acquired by Google, so this was back in like 2013, I guess. It ran the latest version of Android. It had a nice screen to it. It had a selfie camera. The processor wasn't shit. It just checked off the marks for me, and it looked good. Like, oh my God. So I was so excited, and I was so happy when I had to beg for that phone, but I finally got the phone, and I was so happy I got it. You know what? Actually, I think I remember it was supposed to come through like UPS, and like they were lazy and they didn't, or FedEx, and they were lazy and they didn't deliver, so I had to go pick it up. It was a whole thing. But anyway, we got it. I got the phone, and I was so happy. It's one of my favorite phones I think I've ever had, the Moto G. Like, it was just perfect for what it was. Like, it ran everything I needed it to run. Like, I could use Snapchat on it. It was nice. It wasn't very sleek, but it was nice, and it was a cool phone. Like no one else had that phone. Like no one, Motorola was like, you know, changing up the game now after being acquired by Google. So like, you know, there was some clout on you. You was rocking something new. You was rocking a Motorola phone, bro. And it was similar to like the Moto X. So like there was a lot going on, bro. In the beginning of 2015, I finally saved up my own money. I went on eBay and I bought a Moto X, the original Moto X. That shit was amazing. Like, do you guys remember, like, I want to take you guys back to like 2015, when the Moto X came on the scene. It had the OK Google Now, you could talk to it. It had all these really cool features like context awareness. You can customize the back. You could have the back engraved. It was like new Motorola. Oh my God, I loved that phone. I don't even think I had a case on that phone. Like, I think that's when I was using D-Brand. I was D-Brand skinning this phone, bro. It had like a wood backing on my phone. Oh my God, I loved the Moto X. The Moto X was everything I wanted the Moto G to be. I loved the Moto X. Like, the camera was, I guess, decent enough. I was just flexing that phone. Like, I was so proud to have that phone, and I was so happy that I had that phone. And apparently I ended up getting, I don't know why I got rid of that phone. Maybe the performance started to go down, probably. So yeah, anyway, so I had that phone. I think that phone ran like Jelly Bean or like Kit Kat or like Lollipop or whatever. So I had that phone. I don't think I rooted that phone. I think that I stopped rooting my phones when it came to probably around the Moto X-ish. I think that's when I was like, okay, like, we got a good product here. And or at the very least, I stopped flashing ROMs on my phone. I think I was still rooting for a while, but I stopped flashing ROMs on my phone. And apparently I did try out them. I looked at my old Gmail emails just to see the dates that I had these phones. And apparently I did try out the Moto X 2nd gen, and I guess I didn't like it for some reason, so I sent it back. Looking at it now, I can tell why I didn't like it. Like, I just did, like, it didn't have the same flair that the original Moto X did. And eventually, I did in 2016, like in June 2016, I moved back to LG, boom, 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 with my LG G3. So, story time. I remember I had a friend who had the LG G3. He had the white one, and it looked gorgeous. Like, the screen was massive, and it just looked so good in the hands, and like the UI looked clean and fresh. It looked really good. It was like love at first sight with that phone. As soon as I saw that phone in person, I'm like, I gotta have that phone. That's gonna be my next phone. I guess the stars aligned, and your boy was able to make it happen. So actually, you know what I was doing? I was actually selling my old phones to afford to buy a new phone. So starting with the Moto G, I think, and maybe even with the 1V, I was actually selling them when I got a new phone. Sold my Moto X, and then I helped finance the LG G3, and I was living life. Was it the most stable phone in the world? Not necessarily, but the features were there. Like the split screen and like the multitasking and the huge screen and the great camera. The phone was heating up though. A lot of my LG phones in the past, like, they did have problems with heating. That was kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie to you. But I really did enjoy that phone. Like, and at that point, I don't think I was paying attention to Android versions anymore, because I was just like, you know, as long as it works, like, I'm happy with it. And yeah, this is when I start like kind of changing my relationship with phones. Instead of them being like projects I had to work on to get to the point where I liked it, it just got to a point where like phones were just starting to get good. Android phones in particular. Android phones were just starting to get good. They were just starting to like become stable. Like, the apps are working. You didn't really have to do much. Like, the skins were loosening and lightening up a bit, so it wasn't super heavy and bogged down. So this is why I started getting to the point of like, if it works, like, it works and I'm happy. It's fun modding and it's fun rooting, but at the root of it, it's like, this phone isn't doing what I need it to do. Why did I get rid of the G3? I'm not exactly sure. Probably performance, to be honest, and because I had it only for like maybe 5 months, and then later that year in 2016 in November, I upgraded to the V10. V10, one of my favorite phones I've ever owned in my life. I loved the LG V10. Like, that design, like, show me a phone that's a touchscreen modern phone that looks like you can fight in the army with it. Like, that rugged design was amazing. That split screen design at the top, where like you can have like your name and like a menu. I loved that feature so much. I loved like the huge screen of it. I just liked everything about it. It had also like widescreen selfie camera too, so that was like really cool. And also another thing I really appreciated out of the LG phones, and this is a big reason why I stuck with LG phones for so long, is that like their manual mode on the camera was just in a class of its own. Like, other cameras just wasn't doing that. Like, the default camera app, the manual mode, like what you can do with videos, what you can do with photos, was just, that's when I really was into like photography and taking photos. So like I really appreciated being able to like have that kind of control. And I mean, I still use it to this day, like manual mode on my LG phone. So I really like that phone. The reason why I got rid of that phone, I know actually, was because the what's it called? The head speaker phone, like the part where you listen to on your calls, that stopped working. And then also the phone cracked because, like, I'll spare the details, but yeah, it just honestly stopped working well. I had to move on from that. And then so following in the 2017 summer was kind of like an experimental year for me. I actually kind of went through like maybe 3 phones that year in 2017. Like 2017 just wasn't like my year for phone. So in the mix, I actually tried to upgrade. I actually tried to check out the HTC One M8, like, because the design looked good and like the new UI looked great. So I was really interested in it, but I just didn't like it. Like, it was just kind of like bogged down, and like I didn't like the screen. I didn't really sell it. Like, I just refunded it because it was within the refund policy. Didn't like the HTC One M8, and then I tried the Galaxy S7 for a few days during the summer. I didn't care for it. Like, it was slow as shit. Like, it would heat up a lot. I ended up stumbling upon the Huawei Honor 8. Now hold on, before you guys say anything, I know Huawei Honor 8, like, Huawei is not a big presence in the US for whatever reason, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I actually really like this phone. I had this phone for not that long, actually, for like 5 or 6 months, but I really liked the phone. Like, it was so beautiful, like the way like the light would hit it, like it was like a nice glass back, and like the light would just do amazing things to the back. The fingerprint sensor, this is my first phone with a fingerprint sensor, I believe. It was on the back, it was a nice fingerprint sensor. The camera was good, like I like the camera modes. There was like the knock circle where you can like use like your knuckle to like draw something on the screen to open up a shortcut. That was cool. It was easily like the most stable phone that I used up until that. Like, the stability on that phone was just like insane. Snapchat, up until that point, Snapchat was like the buggiest thing for me to run on any of my phones, but that phone handled Snapchat like a champ. It didn't slow down at all. Whoa, fuck, that phone got me through the summer. It was such a good phone. I do remember the one thing I didn't like about it, like I think V10 and like Moto series, like I got used to like the sort of always on display and like and that kind of thing, but this phone didn't have any sort of thing like that. Like, it's just when you turn the screen off, the screen is off. That bothered me a lot, because like that's a feature once you have it's really hard to go back to it, go back from it. So I really struggled with that, but other than that, the phone was damn near perfect. Like, I really like the phone, but nonetheless I did end up getting rid of it later that year in November of 2017, and I had upgraded to LG G6. So I took a short break from LG, and I got back to LG G6. I don't know what it is about LG, but LG gets me. You know, LG gets me in a way that the other companies don't get. I want to ride for HTC, but like, it's just like they're doing everything wrong, it seems like, other than like their phone designs. And then Samsung, I want to ride for Samsung, but it's just like I've had nothing but unpleasant experiences with their phone. All the shit that they put on their phone, like, and I'm coming from LG, and I'm talking all the shit that Samsung puts on their phone, but it just wasn't good for me. Like, I think LG had like the perfect blend of like, it was not that light, but it was light enough, and like added like great features that like were actually useful. Because I like stock in theory, but for me, I get bored with like completely stock phones like a Nexus or a Pixel phone, because like, not Pixel phone necessarily, but like a Nexus, I like features. Like, I like gimmicks, like, you know what I mean? I like the extra feature. Like, take me there, like, let me have some fun, like, you know what I'm saying? So I like the gimmicks, and I think LG like balanced it perfectly with gimmicks. Anyway, I got back to the LG G6. I love the phone. The dimension was pretty strange, and like having the rounded corner, but I actually really enjoyed the phone. I had it for almost a year. I actually had the phone for a pretty long time. I've had it since November 2017 all the way to September 2019. Well, almost 2 years actually I had that phone, which is pretty insane if you know how I like to change phones a lot. So I found something that worked for me. Like, I enjoyed the camera, I enjoyed the phone, I enjoyed using it, like the wide aspect ratio, I really enjoyed it. Actually, the reason why I had changed it was because back when I was working at Yelp, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I actually threw it in the garbage, and then somehow, like, we found it later, and then somehow I ended up cracking the camera on the back, so like I couldn't really take photos on the back anymore. So I got rid of it pretty soon after that, which was pretty sad because I really like the phone. But you know, it's fine because I did upgrade to the LG G7 Thin Cute. Will I say that the BTS ad influence my decision to do it.
어두워도 인생샷은 남겨야 하니까 나는 G7 Thank you.
난 사진 찍을 때 아무 생각 안 해. 얘가 생각하니까. 누구야 넌?
무엇이든 식별하여
궁금한 건 못 참으니까. 나는 G7 Thank you.
아, 눈부셔. 아, 잘 보여.
빛 아래에서도 잘 보이는 슈퍼 브라이트 디스플레이.
잘 보고 싶으니까 나는 G7 Thank you.
시간을 울리는 압도적 사운드 붐박스 스피커.
나는 G7 Thank you.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. That's the question you have to ask me back in 2019. I don't know. But it was a good ad. I liked the phone. I couldn't tell you anything about it. Like it was honestly the same thing as the G6. It was what was the difference? Like nothing huge. Like even I have it right here actually. Wait, is this? Yeah, I have it right here. It's like my backup phone now. It's like purple. Like it's a good looking phone. Like I liked it a lot. And I had really no problems with it. I really did enjoy the phone. I think the reason I ended up upgrading was because I think the fingerprint was actually shit. The fingerprint sensor was pretty shit. I think from what I remember, I was just over it. But it's a nice looking phone. It's a very pretty phone. So I really don't have much to say about the G7 Thank you. It wasn't a bad phone at all. It was just basically a continuation of the G6, which perfectly fine with me because I had that phone for about over a year. Which brings me, I had that phone, actually, if you go back to my earlier videos, that was the phone I was vlogging with. Actually, yeah, that was the phone I was vlogging with up until October of 2020. So when I was outside recording things, I was using that phone, the manual mode. So there you go. And then we here at our final phone, my LG Wing. What can I say that I didn't say in the review? I actually did a review for this one. If you check, I did a review like when I first got it, like back in 2020, I think. So check it out if you're interested in that. My LG Wing. Funny story. I don't use this feature that much anymore. I really don't. You want to see my wallpaper? It's. I don't remember his name. Gojo. It's Gojo when it's open like this. And then when it's closed, it's also Gojo. But anyway, I don't use the flip feature at all. Maybe once every few months I use it. I actually forgot the phone had this feature until I was at the gym the other day, and then like my phone was on the ground and I actually like knocked it. I actually like kicked it, and then it swung open. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, my phone can do that. So I don't use the feature. I don't regret buying this phone. I'm not saying that to say ever. I just don't use it very often. But when I do use it, it does come in very handy. Like, I like the phone now as much as I did when I first got it, to be honest. Like, it just does what I need it to do, which is exactly what I want in the phone now. It has enough gimmicks for me. The fingerprint sensor is okay, I guess. The camera is, I swear, has gotten worse, but it's okay. Like, I don't know. I just really like this phone. Like, like I said, like, I'm still interested in phones, but I'm at the point where it's like, if it works, then like I'm just gonna keep using it, to be honest. And this phone has lasted me since October 2020, and now it's almost October 2022, so it's almost 2 years I've had this phone, hoping we make it to 2 years. But yeah, I really like this phone a lot. Like, I have nothing negative to say about this phone. I'm still getting updates. I just recently got updated to Android 12, which is kind of buggy for me, but you know, it is what it is. This is my current phone. It's a gorgeous phone. I love it a lot. People think it's really expensive, which it is, but it's not that expensive compared to current other phones. Like I said, if you were interested in this phone, like, watch the review I did. Like, it's a great phone. Like, I recommend it. Do I think I'm gonna upgrade soon? Probably not. Like, the latest iOS update looks pretty good, but I don't know if I'll ever go to iPhone, to be honest, because it's just like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if it's in me. Like I said, Android I've been using for like the last 10 years. It's not that I'm too used to Android to go. It's just like, I don't know. I just feel like iOS is a step down. I'm so sorry. But you do you. Honestly, you do you. Like, I'm not here all day modding and rooting and cutting and flashing around with my phone. I'm just using it like a regular person. So an iPhone would serve me perfectly well. I'm just used to like that, like the Android stuff. So you do you, honestly. If I were to upgrade, I'd probably, real talk, I would get another LG phone, but LG is no longer making phones anymore, which is very, very, very upsetting to me. So probably move over to the Samsung line, like maybe the S20 line, the whatever, I don't know, something like that. HTC is not making phones anymore, thank God. Like, because, like, I mean, not thank God, I was rooting for HTC, but it's just like, Jesus Christ, bro. What else is there? OnePlus, I don't think I'll ever do OnePlus. Pixel, I don't think I'll ever do Pixel. Huawei doesn't really be able to seem like we're gonna be able to use that shit in the US, so that's kind of a dub. Motorola dead in the water. So but anyway, so that's the history of my phone for the past 12 years, I guess. 12 plus years. Let me know if you guys have ever had these phones, what you guys think of it. Let me know what phones you guys have had in the past, like what fond memories you've had of it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the walk down memory lane, and I will see you guys in the next one.